Yo, what's going on YouTube? We're going to be looking at how to make QQ bangs and some tips and tricks to make this process a lot easier, hopefully. I've done a little research on the topic, and I really mean a little. I watched a few YouTube videos, read the comments, clicked on the first 4 links on Google with the search terms QQ bang recipe. I have also experimented for a couple of hours and found a few patterns. As a warning, I'm going to be starting from the very beginning, so if you just want to get to the good stuff, just click on the annotation on the video and it will take you there. So what is a QQ bang? It's an equip item that boosts your stats like regular clothing, but it takes its own slot. If you equip this item, its stats are multiplied by 5 and all clothing stats are ignored. This is what makes QQ bangs so great. They let you customize your character's looks without having to worry about the clothing stats. QQ bangs can be made at the clothing mixing shop located at Capsule Corp in the large time rift. You unlock this area pretty early in the game, but you won't be able to make high level QQ bangs until later. Now for the good stuff. From what I've gathered, there are 2 groups of people, somewhat. There are the people who believe this is RNG, and those who believe there is a recipe for getting a specific QQ bang with specific stats. Well, both of these are somewhat true from what I've seen. Certain combinations of equipment will guarantee at least one positive stat of your choosing. However, how much you gain from that positive stat is random and is limited by the level of the QQ bang that comes out. I find that the best QQ bangs are level 5, obviously, created from level 4 equipment. Doing this has a risk, if you even want to call it that, where the level of the QQ bang can be as low as 1. But if you get a level 5 QQ bang, which is not as hard as you might think, the stats are usually well worth it because your overall stats gained will be positive instead of level 5 QQ bangs created with level 5 equipment, which are typically 0. Before we get into the nitty gritty of creating QQ bangs, there is a tip to keep in mind that can make your life a lot easier. Xenoverse creates a save when the player quits a shop or comes back from a mission. When you make a QQ bang, the game does not immediately save until you quit the shop. You can use whatever recipe you want, and if you don't get the desirable QQ bang, just quit the game from the dashboard. All progress will not be saved, so you will start off from your last save. There is another way to restore an older save, but it requires deleting all your save data and restoring it from the cloud, which isn't very practical. Now that you know how to backtrack saves, we can go ahead and start with the QQ bang creation. You'll need to buy the rank 5 Senzu Bean Sprout for 500 Zeni at the item shop. Next, you can get level 4 clothing items from Yellow Booze at their house, or they can be bought at the clothing store. When buying clothing, be sure to buy clothing from different sets that contain the stat you want. When deciding which equips to buy, try to stick with equips that have +3 or +4 in the stats that you want while having -2 or -3 in the stats that you don't want. This may not be possible with the shop, so you may need to do some parallel quests for better level 4 equips. However, it's still possible to create good level 5 QQ bangs with equips bought from the shop. Just buy the items that best fit the stats you need. When you're mixing, there are a few things you want to keep in mind. The stats of the QQ bang that come out are determined by the stats that are both positive or negative in the 2 items being combined. For example, 2 clothes with pluses in health will yield a QQ bang with pluses in health. Or if they were both minuses, the QQ bang will have minuses in health. Things get a bit complicated when the stats do not match or if one of them is 0. In this case, typically it's safe to assume the higher number will have more weight on the outcome. So if one item's health is -5 and the other item is +3, then the QQ bang created will have minuses in health. However, this is also the place where RNG starts to come in. Typically, a level 4 or 5 QQ bang created have 3 plus stats, which can't add up to over 15, and 3 minus stats. Although there are rare instances where you can have 4 plus stats and 2 minus stats. When you have too many stats that are predicted to be pluses, the game seems to RNG which non-matching stats will be plus or minus. And last but certainly not least, the amount of points an equipment has appears to have an effect on how likely you are to get a level 5 QQ bang. The higher the stats of both equips, the more likely a level 5 QQ bang will be created, and the lower the stats, the less likely. The obvious thing to do then is to combine rank 5 equips, but remember that these will just create level 5 QQ bangs with 3 plus 5 stats and 3 minus 5 stats. We want to minimize the minuses we get while maintaining the 3 plus 5 stats. I'll go ahead and list some of the results I got in the description, and I will also include a link to a spreadsheet I found while doing my research. But like I said, the stats are RNG, so use the spreadsheet as a guide to what is possible and not as something that's exact. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. There is a lot of information on QQ bangs out there, and I wanted to add in my findings. As always, if you like this video, be sure to take 2 seconds of your time to hit that like button. If you want to see more Xenoverse or gaming stuff in general, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Later.